Hello.
Just a second.
You're live. We already live. I can see live
Yes.
written. Yes. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Aradhana Tiwari this side. Welcome all. I'm just waiting to see your messages if you guys are on and are we on there. If you guys can see us, can you give us thumbs up or something? Can you guys see me? Yes, you live. We already live. All right. Hi. Hi, Rohini. Hi, Rahul. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Welcome all. I'm so excited to start this talk show today on Be the Change. And I'm just waiting for a few of you to join in and come up. I'm so grateful that you guys are joining in. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's the line of my life. The lifeline of my life is thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm very excited. I'm starting this talk show on Be the Change. And the whole idea of Be the Change is to welcome all the celebrities. And for me, who's the celebrity? Celebrity is one who actually follows their heart and who know and trust their knowing and make a difference in the world. So I'm very excited. And the whole idea behind this talk show was to invite everybody who's actually made a difference following their knowing and did not listen to anybody else other than their own whispers of their own knowing. So, and it's amazing that, I have been meeting so many people on my journey who have actually created difference in the world and nobody even knows it. Like, and, when I listen to them, they inspire my world and my world has changed so much with them over the years. And I really wanted to have a platform from all of those people and to who can come and inspire others who are there in the world who are just giving up, and these people can come and inspire and let you know and never give up, never quit, and never give in. So there's always a hope, there's always a possibility on the planet, and you know it, you just know it. It's just that nobody has a hand behind you and you think there's no one and you're the only odd one out. But trust me guys, you're not the only odd one out. We all are in our world odd one outs, and we are amazing and different. We all are a gift. So not taking much of time, but thank you for all of you to show up and here. And today I have a very, very amazing guest who have, and I'm so glad that she chose to be here on this platform with us. And I'm really, 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 really proud to introduce Ahtushi Deshpande. So Ahtushi, could you be here? And then I will let you know who her little journey. And so yes, Ahtushi, can I just have your face around here? And
hi, Aradhana.
Hi, thank you, Ahtushi. Thank you so much for showing up, for actually just saying yes to me to come on this talk show. And I am really, really honored. And you have inspired me in many ways in my life ever since I've met you. And I wonder what inspiration can you be for the world. So I'll just to say a little bio about you to everybody and to introduce you. So Atushi is a travel writer and photographer. She has been published widely in travel and lifestyle magazines like Outlook Travel, National Geographic Traveler, Marie Claire, and Geo, to name a few. Amongst other professional feats, she has given a talk at the Mountain Writers Festival in Missouri, been a jury member for Outlook Travels Awards, published a corporate calendar on her landscapes, and is currently working on a project on the petroglyphs of Ladakh. She's a keen adventurist and trekker with over 60 treks done and counting. She has also done two solo exhibitions of her photographs, one of which one was the self-portrait of her cancer journey when she was first diagnosed in 2015. In January of 2019, she got a recurrence of the disease, which she chose to fight on her own terms. She refused the medical way, which gave her not more than 2 to 5 years of life. It's been 1 year of being cancer-free since. Wow. Wow. Welcome, Atishi. Welcome to this world of ours, and wonder what gift you are on this planet and how can you share your journey. So my thing is, I really, really wanted you to talk about your cancer, which you fought your cancer twice. And it's so amazing that and I have seen you all through that journey, how you have fought it and how strong you have been. and how you have shifted from one emotion to another. There, I have seen you through going through those emotions, and yet being very, very private and introvert. And I'm glad that you finally chose to come and share your journey with others, because there's so many people in this world right now going with cancer, who are really dealing with cancer and their addictions. And I find cancer worse than addictions, because around my journey, what I've seen is not many people are choosing to change it. So I would like to have your outlook on it. So could you please just share what would you like to say to the world around cancer?
Well, it's been quite a journey, and all tragedies do look, interesting in retrospect. And we can always say how marvelous they are, and they were, and how much they taught us. And I can pretty much say that for the last 5 years as well. I was diagnosed in 2015 for the first time, and it was a shock. I chose the medical way, and it went through quite smoothly. I would say it wasn't, as I had expected. And the second time around, somehow it was a huge shock. I think the first time around, it's something I took in my stride. I, rose to the occasion, like I'm normally done with all the challenges in my life. But last year, when I got this diagnosis again in January, it was, because I think the prognosis was so poor. They gave me 2 to 5 years to live. And being a
Wow.
single mother, with a 19-year-old daughter, it was just, not acceptable to me. I said, I just can't be around for that less. I mean, there's too much left to do, and I need to be around.
You mean you never
And
gave up? I
yeah,
love that about you.
sometimes you listen to your inner voice, which kind of goads you on. That
That I
you
really
will,
want you to talk about that, because
you know,
that's what I always say, that people know it, and you know it, and you have a choice there. So tell me more about this choice of yours, that what you actually like, how are your emotions then, that like to follow the doctors, and I'm not saying medical is not a help, but then where to go, how to go, what actually made you choose different?
so definitely, this what I chose is nowhere against the medical system, because I think that is helping millions of people. A lot of people say that it's a symptomatic, relief. But what better can they do? Because finally, the disease is brought about by us. It is something. It is always, the doctors say it's caused by stress and all that. But how can you treat somebody else's stress? And often when they don't themselves know what that stress is, like in my
Wow,
case,
that's
I know who to
beautiful when
go.
you just said.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's like I'm loving your. I mean, I love the way you said. It's like, how can you fight anybody else's stress, and that you were the creator of it. Like the
Yes.
world I meet, and they say, why would we create cancer in our lives? It's like
Yeah,
so
the buck
amazing.
stops at you. Finally, you are responsible for everything that you attract, and
Wow.
whatever is there. But the thing with this disease is that it was, the huge challenge was to get to the bottom of it. What was the cause? And when I was faced with this prognosis of 2 to 5 years of life, one was that I did not want to live that way. I did not want to live, you know in that state. I wanted a life. And I wanted to explore my options. So it's like a problem like this, you would attack it in every possible way. So surely I took alternative remedies, and I was on cannabis oil and various things.
Cannabis oil, man. How was that? Can we know that about too? Like, yeah,
Interesting, we'll come to that. Very
yeah.
interesting. But I think I was high a lot of the time. But I think it also loosened me up. So everything comes to you. I think when you make a choice, when you make a decision that you really don't know which way it will go, life supports you.
Wow.
Existence supports you. It's like magic starts happening. Things
Yes,
start
that.
happening. People
Yes.
start walking into your lives. Healers, medicines, alternatives. Just a message in a WhatsApp gets you to a hypnotherapist. So I knew the only way out was in. And
Wow.
but how to get to this in, which I couldn't see what was the cause of this cancer. I knew, okay, it's in me, but where, what resides and what causes it. So interestingly, it was a, hypnotherapy session, and I had actually gone there for a completely different reason. It was, I've been procrastinating on my book, a long due project, since my last cancer. And my idea was that I'm going to go to this hypnotherapist and say, just hypnotize me so that I can finish this book, because I don't want to die. I need to finish this. It's hanging like a noose around my head.
You mean you
And
survived from the book, Atu?
I mean, it was an important thing,
I
one of
love
the
it.
important. Like, you have some purpose as well.
Yeah.
It was an affair of 9 years with this lovely work. It took me to Ladakh for so many visits. I was absolutely besotted with it. So it was important that I carried the guilt of not completing it. But I suppose there were those things hanging in me that kind of stalled my progress towards this. And in hypnotherapy, they have something called the presenting issue and the real issue. So within my first session, there were these loads of it. It was a very bizarre kind of scenario that popped up, that I'm walking, there's a forest, and there's a mountain in front, and there's a narrow path, and I want to reach up to the top of the mountain, but there are these weird tentacles, in the way. And it was like one of those, in one fell swoop, you just realize what they are. And they were my emotions, various emotions, and it just hit me, you
So you
know
mean, was it your suppression of your emotions that caused this?
absolutely.
Wow.
Because I have been used to being strong all my life. That's my conditioning. Being weak is not an option in our
But tell
family, in
me
our
one
home.
thing, if I may ask, as I know, I think you were kind of you're more on a atheist, I might say, if that works. But it was like, what actually made you choose, the other therapies than the medical one? Because being so not towards relying on the God or to that higher powers, or world beyond that world. So if you
I
may,
think thank God for that. Thank God for that, that I did not rely on a power other than myself. But
yeah.
so I have, understood spirituality to be something that empowers you. And that was my attraction towards it, because when I found that somehow there is something I'm just not getting at, let me try whatever comes my way,
Mm-hmm.
And I think I have tried all sorts of spiritual practices for the last 10 years. I think somewhere there's a, gnawing feeling inside us that something is not right. You're seeking something. And, finally, all these things are just answers to that seeking, something buried from childhood. I think cancer goes way back into people's childhood.
So if you
And
have to suggest something really, really keen who people are going through it, what do you say they should be doing, and where should they head to?
each person's journey is really their own. And but I would say that heal your relationships. We often have issues with our parents. And the key learning for me was, yes, even last year when I got this recurrence and this whole emotional thing came up, I was really blaming myself, that what the hell did I do to myself to cause this disease? I mean, I know I caused it, but it was a little unacceptable, that I had suppressed my emotions. But when I look backwards, you're 2 years old, you attract some fear. Your father tells you, strong is the only way to be in this world, which is correct. There's nothing wrong with that. So they are things you kind of put into your subconscious. You go through some instance, and your life journey kind of follows that. To understand that now, to look at my life backwards and understand every instance, that there really was nothing ever anything wrong. Everything was a stepping stone towards this. And
True.
today I feel so free, so fabulous. So I think for other people, what I would say is, you know heal things. Heal. If
Yeah.
there is something, if you carry guilt, all these emotions we've never been taught. I think today in school curriculums, they have all this happiness class and things like that. They should have, and a curriculum also including how to deal with your emotions. We tend to brush things aside, be strong, tears are bad. But emotions are just that. You feel them and you let them go, you know?
Yeah.
So these are my learnings. Probably sounds absurd, but for someone who has suppressed them and just been another way,
So,
it was a revelation.
mhm.
I think
So,
delve inside and look in, have the courage. It's not so difficult. Often I come across people, and with my own experience, I try and tell them that, it's often there's a wall. People feel afraid, they feel fearful. And
I just have a question here, Aarti, because I have a lot of clients that come in who are dealing with cancer. Also, but I also, that's my interesting point of view and way of looking at. Not many people are choosing to look within, like, and they're like, okay, we just want to be right now. We've not chosen it, and we just need to be safe. We just want to live, but they're not willing to even look towards inwards at all. Like they we
I
can't
think
create
I
it.
think COVID has given a good chance to everybody to do that. I mean, spiritual practices are really taking on very well. Everybody is doing something or the other.
So when you say spiritual practices, what do you, now you've been through this journey, what do you mean by spiritual?
I think it's just a way to look in. It just opens that door. We block ourselves with so many limited beliefs from the time we are born. We catch on so many things. This is the way you should be, you shouldn't be, this is good, this is bad. In the natural world, there's nothing like that. You know, in the
Right.
natural world, to quote one of my favorite movies, Avatar, uh, nature doesn't take sides. It just protects the balance of life, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just that we have so many layers that we have all built that it's almost difficult to get to your subconscious. Anyway, your subconscious mind is, though it's the driver, it's not something upfront with you all the time. You're mostly operating from your conscious mind. So spiritual practices kind of help you connect with yourself better.
and
That's
and do
that's my
you, and would you
understanding.
say, is it also that people are not connected to their bodies, and they have never even looked into their bodies and the sexualness of their bodies, and that created this part of it also? Do you have
Yeah,
anything around?
I mean, they say that a lot with breast cancer, that you have rejected your sexuality and things like that. It's open to debate. But
What's your take on it?
well, I would say that there are three aspects of healing that I have learned. One is breath, one is sleep, and one is sexuality for sure. These are three very normal, natural aspects of your life. And to live and breathe them in, the way you feel like is definitely
Yeah.
important. It
Yeah.
brings completeness and wholeness to your life.
And going to your journey, where I met you, I always saw you as a trekker, hot babes with the camera on, and I'm like, oh, MG, she's like such a hot babe with the camera on, and I love your look with your camera on and trekking in your own world. So, I've seen you very fearless, like all through, like before you created the second time, and I've been with you on the tracks. And I've been watching you in your own world, in your own beauty, and clicking pictures, beautiful pictures, and being with nature. I never thought that you had any fear, but tell me something. When this cancer actually touched you, did you actually go into fear at any given point of time?
Oh, absolutely. It shook the living daylights out of me.
Wow.
And because you're faced with a life and death situation, it would actually be abnormal not to feel fear. So I
But
think things come back to you, because I used to I was so I was a real wild character. I was very gung-ho. I took life as it came. I took on challenges. I was very fearless. And I used to think, what's there to fear about death? It's going to happen someday. And that's that. What's the big deal? What's the thing everybody fears so much, like we are fearing today with COVID? And but this sure put me face to face with my existence, which is temporary indeed. And
uh,
it was a blessing. It was definitely a blessing.
so, could
But
you
yes,
tell
there was a
something
lot
to
of fear.
people who are watching, that how to go overcome that fear at that point of time? Because fear sounds so real, though it isn't real. But yeah, in those 10 seconds, that fear really sounds real. And I remember being with you at that point of time. And, and I'm like, wow, what can I be here for her to right now, change the space. So I would like to hear from you, because it's coming horse's mouth, like who actually felt the fear, and was it actually fear, or was it actually leading you to something else?
Fear doesn't really exist as an entity as
Wow,
such
thank you. Thank you for
because
saying
it's
that.
just in our thought, and we attach so much importance to that thought.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing about spirituality is that it helps us disconnect with that continuous whirring thought and just be in the present moment. Because in this moment right now, there is nothing to fear. I'm alive, I'm kicking, everything is wonderful. So why am I wasting my moments today, whatever precious life I have left, even if I had cancer, over this fear, So that's been my great learning. And I think I really enjoy my life nowadays,
What did you say
every
to yourself, Atushi, at that point when you were actually that fearful? I just want people to know that how actually step by step you took yourself out of that fear on those 10 seconds.
Well, honestly, I just fought. I was used to fighting everything. I was used to fighting my emotions. So any bad emotion that came up, it was like, what the hell is this? I got to get out of it. You know,
Wow.
it can't like take my space. But the thing is, emotions are emotions. Fear is also a part of you. It's natural. So, what I've learned now is not to fight it, but to just let it pass, look into it, face it, and, it just goes away.
Wow.
Do something else, distract yourself. There's so many modalities. That's why I feel that how to deal with emotions should be a subject we are taught, as children. Today, so much dysfunctionality in society. There are more and more cancers coming up. And we really need to, look at our curriculum because these are real life lessons that empower us.
Wow. So I mean, what I'm getting from you is that actually follow your heart, follow your knowing, and go beyond your fears actually changes the world, right? Is
Yeah,
that?
I think when you are, when you just sort of make up your mind that you have to get to the end of this dark tunnel,
Yeah.
you look at everything, you have to face everything. There is no escaping, in
Yeah.
short. So
And
instead of,
not basically beating yourself and not getting into the wrongness of
yes,
yourself.
because, yes, absolutely. Because, if you look back, that was also okay, you know, and this is also okay. It's all a journey, really. We all kind of choose our paths. Everybody has their own journey. And our interiority as human beings is really the same. We all have the same emotions and feelings and all that. It's just that our society's conditioning is such that we don't show our fears. But everybody is insecure, you know, and the whole
Yeah.
consumerist model is just based on fear. If you don't do this, if you don't do that,
Did we get? Are we
can you hear
there?
me?
Yeah. Now I
Yeah.
can. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So
Lost it. Yeah.
don't berate yourself because everybody is, the same. In the interiority of everyone is similar. So berating yourself, carrying guilt over things, you did the best you could at that moment of time. So leave it, and move
Mhm.
on. So yeah, an internal journey I think is a very important part of healing. Facing your discomfort.
Right. So you mean there is no wrongness in our life. Everything is leading you to somewhere, as you said, and it's a strongness of you, right? So actually, where we've been fighting us as is wrong was actually being strong, right? So we have to, like, we always have the saying that, and I totally trust that if there's nothing wrong in you ever. So everything about you coming in your life was a gift, and it was, as you said, was leading you to a different platform. What you have been asking for, like you wanted to deal with the death, so you wanted to know what death is, and you
Yeah,
created
I
it
got
like
it in
that.
like a
Face
drone.
it.
I got to
Yeah.
deal it well. So, you know what? I have this lovely example. When we look at a bird, or when we look at a forest, do we ever judge it and say this tree is not so beautiful, or this bird is not that beautiful, it could have been tweaked and it could have been better this way? So that's nature, and we are also part of that abundance and that nature. So how can there be anything wrong with us? This
That's so
wrongness is
beautiful.
something that we have cultivated, with civilized society and with everything. So
Yeah.
that's the way it is. But inherently, we are all the same, and I think everything is important.
Wow, that's so
Life is
beautifully
a
put. I
journey.
love your example that how, nature doesn't have that judgment, and that's so true. Thank you
Yeah.
for that. That was actually amazing. So, I mean, and as a vivid trekker, you have been really having more of your treks have been solo. So, would you like to say something around your treks? So, how that combines your life with this whole fight, and how you gave up, and what is one thing that you really learned from life, and what would you like to say about life is, and do what, and like what is your mantra for life?
I mean, just do what your heart says. There's only one
Yeah.
life. Do what the hell you want.
And what do you do with the people who are around you? And people say, oh, people's point of view, people's judgments. What do you do about them, Atishi?
They can take care of themselves and their judgments. You need to be cool with what you do. I mean, as
Yeah,
long as, of
yeah.
course, you follow the norms of basic humane behavior.
Hmm.
Whatever path you choose is good, as long as and you will find your knowing. It's important, I think, even in work, what you do, to enjoy it. So I think I've been fortunate that I've always been able to choose things that I enjoy doing. I think I couldn't do it otherwise, you know.
Hmm.
So I mean, nature
So,
has always been a part of me, and thankfully, I have connected very well with nature, and being a kind of a loner. I think when I was happy, I would go for a trek. When I was sad, I would go for a trek. You know, but
so
it
when
would
you
just
say loner,
rejuvenate me.
what does that look like? Like, what does loner look like? And what is now? Any difference between, I mean, fighting into with your cancer, being as you say, loner, because you had a lot of charge there of loner, being a loner. So do you think that loner created this cancer, or was it another reason that created cancer? What was the key thing that you get sometimes?
Oops. Sorry. No, well, loner doesn't create a cancer. That is
Mm-hmm.
just actually it's a good aspect. I think it's a good aspect of myself, because I enjoyed my own company. I wasn't, uncomfortable with it. And the reasons, I think, the first time I went for a trek solo was because nobody else was really interested in going with me. I mean, nobody around was the idea of fun, camping and whatever else. And I said, but I can't wait forever for somebody to join me. So that's how it started. I just took a bus. I was there. I did the trek. Everything turned out beautiful. And then there was no looking back. And I was so busy, actually, that there was no question of missing company, because I enjoyed my photography. I had weird timings. I would get up at 4 o'clock. I mean, the day was so wholesome and so magnetic, and, so charming.
So I
That,
get is you've always in love with yourself. That's so beautiful. And
yeah,
thank
I
you for
hope
showing
so,
us
except
that.
for this little aberration, which I'm trying to
No,
fix it. But I
that
realized,
aberration is also what I get is you created for yourself and you have fought it
yes,
very beautifully. And I
absolutely.
won't say use the term fought, but I think you really kind of sailed through it because you wanted to, like you wanted to do the trek and you wanted to do the trek of cancer, and kind of beat it out, and you love to challenge yourself. That's what I get. Like wonder what that is about you.
Well, yeah, I used to actually say this. I should watch what I say for sure. And, I used to say that I love challenges, and challenges always have a way of finding me. And though last time around when I got the cancer in, last year in January, I sure did say enough of challenges,
There you
universe,
go.
now spare me. What, now much will you test me? But, now in retrospect, it was quite a bad period. I almost went through a nervous breakdown because all those emotions coming out and the way it was it was difficult. It was difficult to wrap myself around it. But I chose not to take medication. I'm very stubborn about certain things. And, I
But
had,
other than that, what gave you strength to go through that nervous breakdown? Was it like people around you? Of course, I totally get it's your strength within. Nobody can change it unless you haven't chosen it. But how was it around people around you, family, friends? How do they play a part in your world when you're going through all this?
well, I've been very fortunate. I have a wonderful relationship with my sister, Bobby, you know. So she has been actually at the receiving end of my 1 hour long conversations and, things like that. I have lovely set of friends, including you, who've always been around. And, just that knowing is beautiful. They've always, been there for me. My family is fantastic. Since I made peace with all the relationship issues that I had. And it's so freeing, it's so freeing because you realize what rubbish, you know,
Yeah.
everybody does the best they can do at any given moment of time, including your parents,
Yeah.
according to their knowing. And you do the best you can according to your knowing. Nobody does not love their children. So there is no question, but we all somehow, a lot of us carry that, sentiment around. And a lot of these healers, they do believe that, cancer is a result of an issue you have with the same sex parent. Now, I certainly did have it. And I think it's so freeing. And I'm so lucky that while my parents are alive, I have been able to make peace with that and, heal everything around me.
And I remember, I think you've done a photo shoot of yourself and the cancer shoot of yourself. Can you talk more about it? What made you actually do that, and what was the emotion behind that?
So, when I was, this was in 2015, when I was first diagnosed with cancer. And they told me that I had this wonderful doctor, Nitesh Rohtagi. And, he said, you can't do any photography because for a chemotherapy patient, that's a little out. You won't be that energetic. So I jumped into support group work. And in one of the meetings, he just told me, why don't you do a shoot on a cancer patient? And I said, that's a brilliant idea. But I couldn't find anybody. And, it's cancer, especially breast cancer, is something that attacks a woman's femininity straight on. It
Now,
attacks your
that was my
breast,
next question to you, though.
it
Yeah,
attacks
please.
your breast, your hair. They're the hallmarks of femininity. So it's very understandable who would want to really come and show themselves in that state, you know. Um, so I felt that if I had the guts to ask somebody else to show a situation like this about themselves, then I certainly can turn my camera on myself. And though I am normally a shy person, I'm, not very fond of being photographed, funnily, I did that, you know, and it was interesting. It was on, hair loss, hair growth. And also, I wanted to bust this myth. People have this myth that, it's a devastating treatment. You are devastated. Everything is just all over the place. It's not. I think, I mean, yes, you have a couple of days when you're off in every cycle of chemotherapy, which happens every 3 weeks. But, radiation was a breeze. I used to drive to the hospital and back. It was a long treatment. There was hair loss and hair growth. So that was my focus. My focus was on the life I led during that 1 year. From the time I lost my hair, I didn't lose my breast because it was a lumpectomy. But whatever aspects, family, my dog, my birthday, even getting dressed up in a sari to go meet a friend, I photographed that as well, wearing a wig, all these were aspects of my life.
But
And
tell me something, that when these aspects you were clicking, and was it actually affecting your femininity? And is that women all about her hair or her breast or her body, or is it something more?
well, of course, there's something more. There's something so much more. The body is something actually we have accumulated. We have a soul. We have so many passions and things like that. It's just that the body has been made so important today. Because of look at the fashion industry, and there's been this whole thing about anorexia, and girls becoming extra thin, and so much of psychological impact of the importance on looks. At the same time, there is nothing wrong in embracing your sexuality either. If you're a woman, and I enjoyed dressing up a little today with the COVID times when it's just been in pajamas most of the time. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. So if it makes you happy, do it, but
Yeah.
don't necessarily do it for others all the time. Have the confidence in yourself, and I'm sure you'll find people who will love you for yourself just the way you are, and not
Yeah.
not just for your looks. And we must
Yeah.
move away from that, for
So
sure.
people have questioned that you did not take any medication for cancer, or you did?
Well, the first time around I took it in 2015. I went through the whole medical way, but in 2019 I decided not to. Because I was on some alternative treatments came my way, which was the Rick Simpson oil, which is a high THC cannabis oil, and there's a protocol of 90 days. I was in a similar lockdown last year during that protocol, because there are various side effects. One of them is you're very high all the time, and
I would love to know what that experience too after this.
I said, why can't medication be like this? I mean, we should make you high instead of making you miserable. So there was 1 month was almost blissful. I'm not being it's frivolous saying that, but that's the reality of it. And of course, it took its toll, and towards the end, my blood pressure fell, and I couldn't even finish the last week's dose. But there was that. Then I had something called Simaruba, into my protocol. So I didn't want to also take the medical way. And luckily for me, the cancer was, I had it on my lymph node, and I had it in my mediastinum. And I had my doctor with me. I was doing my PET scans every 3 months. And I was really fortunate because in January, I was diagnosed on a PET scan, and by April, it was all gone. And within that 4 month period, I also did the hypnotherapy. I had that burst of emotions. I did so many things that if you were to ask me what was the one thing that helped you cure the cancer, I wouldn't really be able to say it. I can't, because I realize the importance. There have to be studies to show this works. I cannot take people's lives in my hands and say, I did this, you try this. I did a lot more than those treatments. I did
I
a
guess
lot
you did.
more.
I think what I get is you did is you followed your heart and you followed your knowing, and you kept asking and the things kept showing. That's what I totally get after having this talk with you. That it's like I think there's a strength within. And now if I'm remembering myself with you on the treks, and I remember watching you once I came to know, like you treated yourself out of cancer, and how I was watching you, I was like, wow, I love the strength this woman has. And still she'll take up her stuff and she'll start trekking, and in your own wonderland with your own speed, and in your own. And I've really watched you closely, and I'm a keen observer with everybody, as you guys know me. So I just love watching everybody and knowing about everybody. It's not from the space of judging, it's from the total space. That's my psychic capacities of like knowing people. And I've been admired by each of you, like on the track. It's like not, I would say only you, but it's everybody of you. Yet everybody has their own strengths. So I'm so grateful that I know you in my life, and you're here. And I remember when you had the second time news outburst of that recurrence of your cancer, and I was like, OMG. And for me, that was an OMG moment when I saw you like kind of going bizarre, and then like, this has to change, Aradhana. And I know being with you at that point, I was like, yes, this has to change, whatever it takes. And I know I have been connected with you all through about it, and somehow there was a belief that you can change it. I mean, that was my belief in you. And then you said the reports are not saying this, and you had your own shed of tears around that too. But I'm so glad you never gave up, because I've been seeing so many patients, and I had this question to you that I see so many of them who are still dealing, and there are very few who actually choose to get out of those cancers. And there are few of you who I know have actually dealt it so beautifully and gracefully. So, what is like, would you like to actually invite the people who are actually going through this cancer? What would you like to tell them? That, I mean, I definitely would like to say never give up, never give in, never quit. So, what invitation, what would you like them to invite to by, what could be your one quote to invite them?
Well, there's this cliched saying that, life gives us melons and we make lemonade, whatever. I think being in the moment, today you're alive. Let's make the best of it. I don't know tomorrow. I mean, I am cured today. I don't know what holds for me a year down the line, 2 months down the line. I don't know. Today is all that matters. So when you get up in the morning, it's tough. It's not easy. And mostly cancer patients are very sensitive people. I think it's one of the reasons, at least for me, that was the case, that, I ended up suppressing emotions, or, avoiding, relationships and people to some extent. So be kind to yourself, love yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. You are perfect just the way you are. This is a malignancy. It's come to you. You know, there's good medicine today. There's fantastic medicine which can give you a long lease of life. And, you know, just be with the moment. Just enjoy your today. Get up in the morning, think, make a to-do list. What can I do today that will pep me up? What are the things that I enjoy? So, just one day at a time. That's the only way to live, actually.
Wow. So it's
And
living in the
have
moment.
a plan, for your day. So
Yeah.
that's a good way. Do something, positive, fun, interesting.
Which is basically more fun to you, right?
Sorry,
Which is more fun to you. So
what's
people are
more?
amazed at how you actually cured your cancer without medications. And so I think you've given enough them that to follow your heart and go through different and keep asking questions, and people coming in wherever the lightness shows up, you can keep moving towards that. So people also wanted to know about your key messages you would like to give it to yourself and still give each day. So one was this, of course, get up in the morning. So any kind of, and any one tool or one other than these questions of what would I, it'll be fun to be today and what can I choose today, any exercise, any format of connecting to yourself which you would like to give to everyone today?
I think, amongst all the practices I did, it finally comes down to your breath. You know, you are your breath. Your body and your thoughts and all. You know, your mind is just a jumble of thoughts. It's like a dictionary. Can you read a dictionary? No, you can't. But we attach so much importance to that thought. And whatever the body is, it is. But I have found, my way in, because the only way out of any situation is in. And that in is in your breath. So I find yoga very useful. I do a lot of kriyas, I do a lot of pranayam. It's not that I have come out of it. I'm still a work in progress. I'm still working, and it's okay. I'll probably be a work in progress till the day I die. And that's all right with me. I don't have to achieve or attain any certain set of perfection or being this perfect person. And that's such a, breakthrough, because I was a little bit of a perfectionist earlier. And I'm no longer seeking too many answers either, because there is no end to it. And I think it's a journey to come to it this way. For me, it was took this much time. Maybe for others it could be much shorter. I have seen people get this like at the drop of a hat. It's so easy for them. So it's if you get it, you get it. Like you often say, you get it when you get it.
I love that quote. You get it when you get it.
Yeah.
Totally. And
So it has
yeah.
to be in your experience to understand, and to, once it is there, your transformation is a given. You will move out of that limited belief that there is something wrong with you, or there is any lack in you, or you're any less than anyone else. You will love yourself for the way you are. And I think that is the crucial moment when things just change.
Wow, that's so beautiful. That
When
is so
judgment dissolves.
beautiful. Thank you, Atushi. It has been, I mean, I can keep going on and on with you, and you're such an inspiration. And I'm sure all people who have been viewing it, it's been a gift. And any other questions, guys? Any last two questions we would like to take? If you have, please put it there on the chat, and we're happy. And people would like to connect to you, so we would be putting Atushi's Instagram and the email on. It's in the chat, you guys. You can connect with her anytime if you need any support from her, and she's happy to guide you. Is that, Atushi, will that be fun for you to guide people who are actually going through the cancer?
Absolutely, absolutely. I do that all the time, in fact, and it actually gives me a lot of satisfaction because there's no point going through this experience if I can't share it and help others.
Yeah.
So,
And the other beautiful side I really got, again, I would reiterate, and that's my mantra always: never give in, never quit, and never give up. So there's always a hope other side, and it's only about you. It's not about others. And everything is all your creations. That's what I got from Atushi's and stories, and love and her inspirational life. And I've always been really, really inspired, and wonder if that can really, really change in anybody's world. And whosoever's been hearing, who has anybody coming across with cancer in their families or in their friends, please pass them this information. I wonder what can that change in their world. And nothing comes without you being asking for it. And if you actually do not get scared and fearful of it, you can change it. Anything else you would, by the end, you would like to say, Atushi, to everybody here?
no, just, there's only one life. Enjoy the ride. It's a beautiful life.
Thank you so
Do what
much.
your heart says. Listen to yourself. If it feels heavy, don't do it. Just ask yourself. You always know. You always know from a moment to moment. You can ask yourself, do I really want to do this? If you don't do it. It's as simple as that.
I love the way simplicity you're saying it, Atu, and I do trust that. And I also always say, don't do it, and just follow your knowing and follow your heart. And you reiterating that, thank you for that. And really, really grateful. Before you've left, you just said that. But people just say it's easier said than done, but I totally get that. It's just a choice that you have to make. And if you will choose it, everything is simple and easy in life. And guys, stay tuned to this page every Sunday, 7 to 8. We would be coming with more of such inspirational guests and sharing their journey, how when they followed their heart and when nothing was showing up, and when they never gave up their knowing, what change and inspirations did they create in the world. And if you're on the verge of, like, in this corona time, if you're on the verge of losing it, trust me, there's a hope. You, as long as what Atushi also beautifully said, as long as you're breathing. And my mom always says, if you're breathing and you have your body intact, you can choose it and you can change it. So just keep breathing, keep breathing deeper, and choosing each day more beautifully. Hope it was a contribution to all of you here. Thank you, each one of you, showing up. So grateful. Thank you. And thank you, Atushi, for all your such beautiful inputs
Thank
and
you,
what else is
Aradhana.
possible. Thank you. Bye, guys. I
Bye-bye.
hope there are no more questions, right? Just let me check. No. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye.